When Trevor Noah took aim at what he calls America's most toxic bromance, he struck a nerve that sent shockwaves through social media. The comparison between Trump and Elon Musk wasn't just entertaining, it exposed an uncomfortable truth about two of America's most influential figures. Trump's middle-of-the-night rage posting showed just how accurately Noah had diagnosed their shared traits. What makes this friendship so bizarre isn't just their outsized personalities, but how they mirror each other's behaviors. Both respond to even mild criticism with full-blown social media meltdowns. Remember when Trump's voice sounded weird during that X interview with Musk? Instead of laughing it off, he blamed modern-day equipment and cell phone technology in a defensive Truth Social rant. As one observer pointed out online, he missed the easiest excuse in the world, blaming Musk's platform itself. The irony here is palpable. Trump can't stand being compared to someone who actively supports him. Musk has publicly endorsed Trump, even posted supportive messages after the assassination attempt, and initially promised massive financial contributions to pro-Trump PACs. Yet the comparison still triggered Trump's defensive instincts. It's like they're competing in an ego Olympics where sharing the podium is unacceptable. Their social media behavior follows an identical pattern that Noah brilliantly identified. When criticized, they don't engage with the substance, they attack the critic, change the subject, or make it personal. They've transformed what should be platforms for communication into personal battlegrounds, where they're always the victims of unfair treatment. It's middle school drama with billion-dollar consequences. What's particularly fascinating is how both men have mastered the art of failing upward. Trump's business history reads like a catastrophe highlight reel. Trump Airlines crash, Trump vodka flop, Trump University led to a $25 million 0-cent settlement. Yet somehow these failures became woven into his mythology as evidence of his business genius rather than incompetence. When most people go bankrupt, they face financial ruin. When Trump does it, he gets a TV show and calls himself a billionaire. Musk operates from the same playbook, just with a tech industry spin. He announces revolutionary products like fully self-driving cars almost annually, repeatedly misses deadlines, and somehow emerges with his visionary status not just intact, but enhanced. It's a magic trick that defies conventional business logic. The worse their actual track records, the more their supporters believe in them. Both have fundamentally altered how success is perceived. Remember when you had to actually succeed to be considered successful? That quaint concept has been replaced by a system where bold promises matter more than concrete results. Trump's border wall, barely built and definitely not paid for by Mexico, exists as a complete success in his narrative. The gap between promise and reality has become irrelevant. Even legal troubles follow this pattern. Trump's mugshot didn't damage him, it became merchandise. Most politicians would be finished after one indictment. Trump received multiple and turned them into fundraising opportunities. It's like watching someone transform what should be career-ending scandals into career-enhancing branding opportunities. The consistent pattern Noah identified is remarkably simple yet effective. Make wild promises that excite people, deliver disappointing results that would sink anyone else, blame external forces for the failure, and immediately promise something even bigger. Then repeat the cycle, never acknowledging the previous failure. It's a perpetual motion machine of hype that somehow gains momentum with each disappointment. What does this mean for American culture? It suggests we've created a system where accountability is optional if you're famous enough. You can repeatedly fail to deliver on promises and still maintain your status, influence, and wealth. It's like discovering a cheat code for success that bypasses the need for actual achievement. As Noah pointed out, this isn't just about two men with fragile egos. It's about a fundamental shift in how we evaluate leadership and success in America. This accountability optional culture doesn't sustain itself naturally. It requires a carefully constructed ecosystem that both Trump and Musk have mastered. Noah's most insightful observation wasn't about their failures, but about the elaborate echo chambers they've built where criticism dies and blind loyalty thrives. They've surrounded themselves with what Noah calls human shields of yes men, a protective barrier against the mortal threat of someone saying, actually, that's a terrible idea. These aren't ordinary supporters, but professional head nodders, whose job security depends entirely on their enthusiasm for whatever comes from the boss. The Trump White House became the ultimate yes man factory. Staff turnover reached historic levels, but it wasn't random chaos, it was natural selection in action. Each replacement tended to be more loyal and less likely to challenge Trump than their predecessor. Eventually, the only qualification that mattered wasn't expertise or experience, but willingness to affirm Trump was the greatest president in history. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. When you're surrounded exclusively by people telling you you're brilliant, you inevitably believe your own mythology. Trump couldn't tolerate hearing his ideas might be flawed, so he created a workplace where nobody dared suggest such blasphemy. It's like installing a smoke detector that complements your cooking while your kitchen burns down. Musk's companies appear to follow similar patterns. Questioning the boss comes with career risks. An unwavering allegiance matters more than competence. Imagine working somewhere where saying that deadline isn't realistic could get you fired, while promising impossible results gets you promoted. That's the backwards reality Noah exposed. The real damage occurs when these echo chambers influence decisions affecting millions of people or billions of dollars. Picture advisors knowing a plan is terrible, but remaining silent because nobody wants to be the one bursting the bubble. Now multiply that by decisions with national or global consequences. This yes man system serves another critical purpose: narrative control. By demanding unwavering loyalty from their inner circles, both men maintain their preferred versions of reality despite contradictory evidence. When you eliminate all critical voices, facts become whatever you declare them to be. It's a personalized ministry of truth. Their reactions to criticism follow identical patterns: displays of anger and personal attacks. This isn't just about hurt feelings, it's about maintaining control. Every critic must be discredited because allowing even one dissenting voice could cause the entire carefully constructed image to crumble. It explains why Trump couldn't laugh off Noah's comparison, but instead attacked him personally. The comedian exposed the mechanism keeping the whole operation running. These loyal supporters don't just shield them from criticism, they actively reframe failures as successes. When everyone insists your obvious mistake was actually a stroke of genius, you never need to learn, grow, or admit error. It's perfect if preserving ego matters more than achieving results. The psychological need driving this behavior is fascinating. Both men require constant validation while simultaneously needing protection from uncomfortable truths. Their loyal followers serve as emotional armor, preventing reality from penetrating their carefully constructed worldviews. What makes Noah's analysis particularly valuable is how he connects these individual behaviors to broader cultural shifts. We're increasingly treating democracy like reality television, where entertainment value outweighs competence. While we laugh at Trump's latest meltdown or Musk's erratic tweets, we miss the deeper problem. We've created a system where being outrageous is rewarded more than being effective. Maybe the most disturbing part is how we, the audience, enable this cycle. By giving these melodramas our constant attention, we perpetuate the very system Noah critiques. The media covers every tweet, every outburst, every feud because it drives engagement, and that coverage further reinforces the cycle, making outrage and controversy more valuable than substance and results. Noah's comparison wasn't just about two men with fragile egos and similar behavioral patterns. It was a warning about how we're reconfiguring the incentive structures in our society to reward the wrong things. When being controversial becomes more profitable than being competent, should we really be surprised when our leaders prioritize the former over the latter? The personal rivalry between Trump and Musk that Noah exposed reveals something deeper about American culture: our collective fascination with personality-driven leadership over substance. Both men have cultivated larger-than-life personas that overshadow their actual accomplishments. It's like we've collectively decided that character development in our national story matters more than plot resolution. This shift didn't happen overnight. It evolved gradually as entertainment values infiltrated our political and business culture. Before Trump and Musk, business and political leaders generally tried to appear measured and serious. Now, being outrageous is a strategic advantage. Creating spectacle generates attention, and in today's economy, attention translates directly into power and money. Noah particularly emphasized how both men use social media as personal broadcast channels that bypass traditional media gatekeepers. When conventional outlets might question their claims or provide context, platforms like Twitter, now X, and Truth Social let them communicate directly with millions of followers without any filtering or fact-checking. It's like having your own television network without the burden of journalistic standards. The parallel communication styles Noah identified are striking. Both write like angry teenagers, short emotional statements filled with random capitalization, excessive punctuation, and personal attacks. This isn't accidental, but a deliberate strategy that creates an impression of authenticity and directness. The unpolished style makes their messages seem more genuine than carefully crafted statements, even when they're obviously calculated. What's truly remarkable is how they've monetized controversy. Every outrageous statement generates headlines, which drives engagement, which translates to continued relevance and financial opportunities. It's a perpetual motion machine powered by outrage. Noah astutely observed that for both men, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Even negative coverage keeps them at the center of conversation. Their shared talent for manipulating media cycles deserves particular attention. When facing negative stories, both create diversionary controversies that redirect attention. It's like a magician's misdirection technique applied to public relations. This skill allows them to effectively control news narratives despite seemingly chaotic behavior. The paper-thin skin Noah described isn't a weakness in this context. It's actually a strategic asset. Their dramatic responses to criticism ensure that even minor slights become major stories. When Trump attacks a comedian for comparing him to Musk, he's not just defending his ego. He's ensuring the conversation continues with him at the center. Perhaps most concerning is how both have trained their audiences to dismiss factual information that contradicts their narratives. Any criticism can be labeled fake news or attributed to enemies with agendas. This creates information bubbles where followers become increasingly detached from shared reality, allowing both men to define their own versions of truth. This phenomenon extends beyond these two individuals. They've created templates that others are following. We're seeing more business and political figures adopting similar strategies. Embracing controversy, attacking critics personally, communicating in unfiltered ways through social media, and surrounding themselves with loyalists who reinforce their worldviews. Noah's comparison wasn't just amusing commentary, it was a warning about the direction of American leadership culture. When style consistently triumphs over substance, when loyalty matters more than competence, when personal branding outweighs actual results, we all lose. The entertainment value may be high, but the long-term costs to institutions and social trust are higher. The most disturbing part may be how this approach reshapes expectations for everyone else. If the most visible and successful figures can fail repeatedly without consequences, why should anyone else be held accountable? If the loudest voice wins regardless of accuracy, what incentive exists for careful, nuanced thinking? We risk creating a culture where the performative aspects of leadership matter more than the substantive ones. Noah's analysis ultimately reveals something profound about contemporary America. We've created a system that rewards certain behaviors regardless of their societal value. The spectacle of Trump and Musk's toxic bromance isn't just entertaining, it's symptomatic of deeper shifts in what we value and reward. Their mutual admiration mixed with competitive ego displays isn't just personal psychology. It's the logical outcome of incentive structures we've collectively established. The question Noah leaves us with is whether this is sustainable. Can institutions function effectively when led by figures who prioritize personal brand over organizational health? Can a society make good decisions when its information ecosystem is dominated by voices optimized for attention rather than accuracy? And ultimately, is this really what we want leadership to look like? As we laugh at the latest Twitter meltdown or late-night social media rant, perhaps we should consider what we're encouraging. By giving our attention primarily to the most outrageous voices, we create a marketplace where extremism and drama are rewarded. Maybe it's time we changed what we value and directed our attention toward leaders who deliver rather than just those who entertain.